Hey, what's going on, everyone? Hope y'all are having a fantastic week and are enjoying your weekend. Give me one sec here while I pull up the stream on my end, so I can see it here on my computer, so I'm not just running blind here. But yeah, what's been going on? It's been a hot minute. What, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, something like that. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, it's been a while, and we're gonna get into that here in just a second in terms of what's been new, why I've been kind of gone, and what we've been up to. All right. Let me make sure that I'm not missing anyone here. It looks like we've got Paul Bussell. What's going on, brother? Great to see you. We have Jaden Hamilton. What's up, dude? Got done with my midterms. Oof. Jaden, then you know how it is, brother. Great to see you here. Nose for Act 2. What's up, man? Silky celebration stream. No, there's nothing really to celebrate. Nose for Act 2. Lone Star, what's up, dude? He says, howdy, welcome back. Dude, thank you so much. Great to see you, brother. Hey, Lone Star, you going to Orlando this weekend? Or I guess that would be this next weekend. But yeah, it looks fun. I will not be there, unfortunately. And Cajun Corey for 6 months. Wow, dude, here. That deserves an applause. Thank you for the 6 months, man. He says, welcome back, stranger. Thank you. Hope your midterms went well, says Paul. Thanks, brother. Yeah. They went, that's for sure. Dr. Rachel, she says, hello, Max and chat. Great to have Sunday Man Cave back. Yeah, thanks for hanging in there with me, guys, and I appreciate y'all waiting for so long and being patient. It's been a while since I've seen everyone, so let's just get right to it. So yeah, to be quite honest, to be totally honest with you guys, I was like, probably about an hour ago, I was like, oh my God, I gotta stream tonight. I'm not ready. I'm not looking forward to this. I just haven't been in like a mental space to stream or do videos or go live or talk about anything. So for tonight's stream, I don't really have anything planned, because it's going to be a lot of me kind of sifting through some thoughts that maybe you guys can either resonate with, or some thoughts that you guys can also contemplate as well. But a lot of it is just going to be kind of me talking with y'all tonight. Like I said, I don't really have anything specific planned. And if it comes up, it comes up. But tonight will just be a lot of me going into what's been kind of going on the past 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and us just kind of working through a lot of that. So Jay the Deep Minded says, hey Max, glad you're back. Thanks, Jay. Always good seeing you. Lone Star, unfortunately not this time. Yeah, no worries, dude. I know it's a lot of money doing all these meetups. It's a lot of money, a lot of traveling, but they're a lot of fun. Believe me, if I had an infinite amount of money, I would try and make it to each one. 300 Mirrors. Hey, Max. Hey, chat. Welcome back. Thank you so much. And Smile a while. What's going on? Good evening. Whoa. Who's this handsome young man, says Zax. What's up, dude? Great to have you in the chat, as always. So, yeah. So, I don't know if you guys noticed, probably, I think it was 3 weeks ago. I'd have to look back and check at the actual date, but there was a video on YouTube that transpired, that was live, and it had two comic book creators, like two big name comic book creators, one of them being Ethan Van Sciver and the other being Mark Brooks. And trust me, this will go somewhere, I promise. It sounds like it's off topic, but I promise it'll be right where we need to be at. But I was I had woken up that morning, I think on a weekend or something, and I'd seen this live stream. And these two comic book creators, both of them artists, Ethan Van Sciver, who's notoriously known for his work over at DC Comics, which is his Green Lantern run with Jeff Johns, creating the Green Lantern Corps, all the different colors of the Green Lantern Corps. And he has also done a lot with the Comicsgate creatives and creators. So he has created the Cyberfrog universe comic books, which I haven't gotten a chance to read actually, but a couple of my friends have read them and they said they're not too bad. The artwork is fantastic, of course, but the stories are kind of meh. So I need to actually read them and look into that. But Ethan is a very well-known writer and artist from DC that has done a lot of other work, but notably more recently through Comicsgate. Mark Brooks, however, the other creator on this live stream, he is well-known for his art on variant covers for Marvel Comics. And he essentially... his Twitter timeline is absolute cancer. He is notoriously known for cry bullying. He's the guy who went to San Diego Comic-Con and called the police on one of the Comicsgate guys, and was goading him to like fight him and meet him at his booth and all this stuff. And then once he showed up, he called the cops or called security, because it was a nightmare, and it was grown men acting like children. And that's exactly what this stream was that I saw online. It was grown men acting like children. It was Ethan Van Sciver and Mark Brooks just screaming at each other, just absolutely insulting each other with like the worst insults possible. Like, it was, "Oh, you're fat. Well, you have gray in your beard. Haha." And they're both like laughing at each other and just pointing the finger. And it was pathetic. Like, it was a display of like, I'm not even, immaturity, I think is the right word I'm looking for. It was a complete lack of respect, and maturity had completely left the room. And these two comic professionals got at each other's throat for what it seemed to be an hour. I think it was 30 minutes. And I'm watching this in the morning, and I'm just like, what are we doing? Right? Like, what are we doing? What am I doing here? Watching comic book professionals, supposed professionals, yelling and screaming at each other like crybabies. And then Mark Brooks trying to goad on Ethan Van Sciver, saying, "Fight me, bro. Fight me, bro. Fight me, bro." And Ethan just laughing. And like, I was appalled. And I don't mean to clutch my pearls, because I'm not that kind of guy. I've seen way worse in the Marine Corps, and this is like petty shit, But it was pathetic, the display of respect, and pathetic, the display of a lack of maturity on both of these men's parts. And I was just, like I said, I was watching it and I was like, what are we doing in this comic book industry right now? That we're resorting to caveman-like tactics of just beating our chests. Like, we can't even have a distinct conversation or a discussion whatsoever. And like I said, it was pathetic. And that kind of started me on this road of like, God, I need to I need to invest my time in something else. Because like, this is not it. You know what I mean? If this is like what the comic book industry is doing right now, if this is what comic book creators are doing right now, I want no part in this. I don't want to even think about it. I don't want any relation to it. I'm out. And so much of that was unfortunate that I had to see that, and that these two guys like had to act like such children. Sorry, let's see what you what you guys have to say. I think beating your chest is right. Oh, Zax, don't tell me that, because then I'm in big trouble. Sucks you can't go to Orlando. I'm gonna try and go to Nerdrotic Texas meetup next year. Cajun, that would be awesome, man. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Vegas and Texas and any time other than that when we can all hang out. Zax and Max with the shoulder attacks is Nosferatu. Trying to, brother. Working on those shoulders. I gotta catch up to Zax though. Big Daddy Zax. Rachel says, I can only make it to Orlando because I'm rooming with other people. That'll be fun though, Rachel. I'm excited for you. Please take plenty of pictures and live stream and all that good stuff. So, yeah. Jaden says, you mean Adam Sessler? Jay, Max, I saw the stream. It was completely crazy, so upsetting, right? Yeah, that's what it was. It was that's a great articulation. It really was just upsetting. Why do so many involve bro in their daily speech, says Jaden. Great question. Great question. I feel like Max should be a woman, so he has to go by she, her pronouns, because that's how I feel. Jaden, why do you think... I feel like Max should be a woman, so he has to go be... she, her pronouns, because that's how I feel. No, I can assure you I'm very much he, him pronouns. So, like I said, that kind of started this this weird road that I went down of like, you know, what am I doing? And then, you know, you've got people like Nick Rekieta who are on this platform on YouTube. And me even mentioning his name will get me, you know, kicked off, unfortunately. But Nick Rekieta, who's an incredible streamer, who makes so much money for this platform. I think the analytics came back and he was one of the top 5 or top 10 streamers on the platform that make the most from super chats. He doesn't have the most subscribers. He doesn't have the most live streamers, but he makes the most from the super chats that he gets. And a portion of that goes straight into YouTube's pocket. And when Nick Rekieta was taken off of YouTube with no warning, no letter, no nothing, it made me realize how kind of fleeting this position is on YouTube. How fleeting and really insecure this job is. There is no job security here. You have none. In one day, you could be making millions, and the next day, it could be gone in a heartbeat because someone just doesn't like you. Because someone just doesn't agree with your politics. Because you made a mistake and you said something that you didn't mean to. Or because someone deems that you said something that they didn't like. In which this case, Nick Rekieta had said something that someone else took offense to, and so they had all their mentally ill, insane weirdos, their internet psychopaths, go find his channel and delete him off the platform. And already, just by me saying that, I could be in trouble, and I could also be creating controversy with what I'm saying here, which I understand, but what it really showed me is just how much YouTube doesn't care about its creators. And if it did, that it would actually have some sort of plan in place to like shield its creators from these types of attacks. And that if YouTube actually did care about free speech on this platform, that would be something that would go under consideration and not just be pulled by a bot, but by someone who would actually listen to what it is and wouldn't just like bias, take someone else's bias and just say, oh, well, yeah, he's in the wrong. Oh, Monopoly, that's a great point, dude. He says, I love EVS, but sometimes he's his own worst enemy. The thing is, Monopoly, I think his ego gets the best of him. You know, he's an incredible artist, an incredibly talented guy who has a lot of charisma, knows how to sell a book, knows how to speak to an audience. I agree with a lot of the things that he says, but in other videos, I watch him and I go, dude, your ego is separating you from your fans, or your ego is getting the better of you. So like you said, I think sometimes he can be his own worst enemy, and that's frustrating. Nick was the top non-VTuber for Super Chats at one point. Yeah, Zach, that is insane. Do you know how much money you have to be making in order to do that? To not be a VTuber or a video gamer or something? Happens all the time in other professions. Interesting, Paul. See, I feel like in other professions you would have at least a little bit more security with like HR or something to be looking out for your best interest, but I don't know. Zach says, Max, I've been feeling the same exact way. Cheers, man. Like I said, some of the stuff I might be talking about tonight may resonate with you guys, and if so, please let me know. This is me just kind of openly speaking to y'all, and like I said at the beginning of the stream, hopefully it resonates, and if not, that's totally fine. But just to kind of give you guys what's been going on for the past few weeks and some of the thoughts I've been having, because I could make a video, but the rant of my video would be like an hour long. It would be a long stream or a long video. So it's just easier to do it live with you guys. I was confident that YouTube at least liked money. You would think, right? I guess not. I showed a clip of that argument to my husband because it upset me. He said it was because it offended any sense of respect or honor, and grown men should know better. Jay, that's a great point. And your husband's right. I mean, I think that's probably why a lot of guys saw that and were like, not offended, because offended sounds like pearl clutching, but why so guys were upset by that. And why they were just so disgusted by the type of behavior that was like, especially for people who, like for me, I can't stand Mark Brooks. And he can't stand people like me. I'm everything Mark Brooks hates. I'm a white Christian, straight male, right-leaning on the political aisle, ex-military. Like, I am literally Satan to Mark Brooks. And so I don't see eye to eye with anything that he says, politically or socially or economically or any of that. And yet I can woefully say that both of them acted extremely immaturely. And it was sad to see both of them act like that. Jaden says, did you have a good breakfast this morning? I did. Odd question, but thank you. I did. I normally just have the same breakfast every day. Rachel says that's such a disappointment knowing YouTube doesn't care about its creators and it's totally fine with canceling anyone. Yeah. Smile says HR is a joke. Ugh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Jaden, I do have a Discord account. I don't have a server though. I am really not good at Discord. I'm pretty bad at Twitter. I'm really bad at Discord. It's not even, Discord is like a different language for me. It has happened to me in a prior job way before cancel culture became a thing. HR is not your friend ever. Oof. Paul, I am so sorry, man. That sounds awful. Yeah, Rachel confirmed it. So with the whole YouTube thing, I had to start looking at all right, so we've got guys on here who are doing live streams in the comic book community that are just ruining it for the rest of us. We've got YouTube taking down full channels. Like if they are capable of taking down a channel that provides them top money, one of their biggest sources of income is from Nick Rekieta's channel, and they have no problem yanking it like that. How the hell do I even have a chance at making a channel? If my channel isn't making twice that, or if my channel isn't doing half as well as Nick's, you don't think they're going to pull the plug on my channel like that without a thought? Without a even blinking an eye? Just gone. So it like makes you look at your mortality on this platform and go like, God damn. Jaden, yeah, send me the Discord link and I'll see if I can join. Like I said, man, I'm not on there much and I really do not understand how it works, but what's the same breakfast you eat every day? I get bored of eating the same. Oh, Smile. So every single morning, it's just easy for me. I do essentially just a protein shake. So it's protein powder, glutamine powder. It's probably like a cup or two of spinach or kale. I just take like a handful and just throw it in there. Some almond butter, like half a cup or cup of oatmeal or oats, just, raw oats. What else? A banana, some frozen strawberries, almond milk, and it's all good to go. And that's all you need. That for me, that's like, I have it right after I go to the gym. I just spin that baby up and it's become just like a staple because it's super easy to make, super easy to digest. And because it's already, like kind of mixed in the smoothie because it's already, blended, your body is able to digest it much quicker. And so you get a lot more of the nutrients that you need post workout. So you're able to kind of like get that into your system right away. So I love it. It's super simple, but a lot of calories, unfortunately. I could probably back off a little bit on the almond butter and on the strawberries and bananas and all that stuff. So did I have a good second breakfast this morning? Unfortunately, I didn't have second breakfast. So bummed. I just don't get how Mark Brooks has so much clout. Is the talent pool at Marvel that shallow that a mediocre cover artist gains this much attention? Monopoly, yes. So Mark, that's the thing, is Mark has clout because he says the right things. Mark has clout because he knows what to say and he knows when to say it, and he's on the right side of the political aisle. So even if Mark, because I can say that Mark is extremely talented. That is a factual statement. Whether people enjoy his artwork or not is subjective. I see it and I actually think that it is extremely well done, well crafted, very, very talented art. But it's a case of separating the art from the artist, because I've heard what he has to say. I've listened to the things that he talks about. I've read his Twitter, and he can't keep his mouth shut about anyone within the comic book community or anyone politically that is right-leaning. And so when he does that, it is extremely easy for me to lump the artist with the art. So every time I see his artwork, I remember what he says about me as a Christian, or I remember what he says about me as a right-leaning political aisle or whatnot. And I go, I don't need to buy that crap. But because he leans towards the right side, towards the left side of the aisle, which is the correct side in Marvel, he tends to get a lot more work. People agree with him. He has a lot of clout. So that's kind of what happens. But like I said, I'm not knocking on the guy's talent. Like, he's an extremely talented individual. And I will, continually say that, because that is, factual. I feel like, at least. Whether you enjoy the art or not, that is a subjective comment. But Jaden, no, the Discord question wasn't baggy or arrogant at all, brother. Not at all, man. I would love to join. Like I said, I'm just not that active on it, so I would feel bad if I joined and then I wasn't really active as much as I should be. So yeah, I mean, Cajun, you said too bad Rumble and Odyssey isn't as big as YouTube. Well, that's the thing, man. Like, Nick just took his creative content and he just said, all right, fuck off, YouTube. And he just went to Rumble and Odyssey and he said, I'm going to take my money and my fans elsewhere because you clearly don't care about me. And so YouTube lost a ton of money by doing that. And like I said before, Marvel tends to side with people who are on the left-leaning side of politics. Same with YouTube. YouTube chose to make the decision to agree with the person who had the more left-leaning politics because they didn't agree with Nick's right-leaning, or not even right-leaning, because I think, isn't Nick like a libertarian? Yeah, it's weird, man. It's frustrating that decisions are made based off their political opinions. Smile says, takes too much time though when you work at 5 a.m. Ooh, Smile. I remember those mornings at 5 a.m. Those are brutal. Nick did get his channel back, Jay, but is now taking his income to Rumble. Yeah, not really streaming on YouTube anymore. Rightfully so. I mean, I understand. If I were given that choice, you know what I mean? I hope that he's, now granted, from the amount of super chats and the views that he was getting here on YouTube, he has said multiple times that he is fine, that he is doing fine. Like, him and his family are secure financially, that they will be fine, which I'm thankful for. But like I said, what if a smaller channel wasn't fine? What if a smaller channel was relying on YouTube as its financial, like as its only financial responsibility, and that smaller channel got taken down? Like that's something you have to think about on this platform now, unfortunately. And you know, maybe people will say like, oh, well, you wouldn't have to think about it if you don't break their rules or whatever, but their rules are so nuanced. And their rules are so, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think. I've got stream brain. I've also got midterm brain because I just finished all my testing and essays and stuff. They're not very specific, is what I meant to say. They're very just kind of out there. They don't specify anything in regards to this is what will get your channel taken down, or this is what will get you a strike, or whatnot. So it's very just kind of nebulous. Maybe that's the word I was looking for. And because of that, when people say, oh, well, if you don't break the rules, then you don't have to worry about it. Like, if you don't say something stupid, or if you blah, 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 or if you don't do that, yeah, that's all great. But at the same time, this is my channel, and I'm not going to be saying some crazy stuff. But if you look at these larger channels that are left-leaning, they get to say whatever the fuck they want. So why are the other political channels, or why are the, not even political, but even just regular channels that may say something that doesn't agree with YouTube, they get taken down? It's a lot of hypocrisy. And the thing with the rules is that if it were laid out specifically and those rules were upheld on both sides of the aisle for every channel, no matter how large the channel is, no matter what political view the channel takes, all of that stuff, if those rules were upheld, then there would be no issue. But with a platform the size of YouTube, it is extremely difficult to do that. Because you have millions and millions of channels that have like 100 subscribers, 300 subscribers. Channels like mine that are like 1,700 subscribers. Like, I'm probably like the bottom 1% of channels on this platform that, have a certain subscriber base. So, which we'll get to here in a second as well. Yeah, Monopoly says just eat a stick of butter. I don't know if that's going to do the same thing for me as it will for her. This is why I don't do midterms. It is disruptive and not helpful. Being honest, Max, I don't think you are in the same danger as Nick. He pushes boundaries that you won't. It's not your style. Well, thank you, Jay. I mean, he definitely says some stuff that is controversial, which I do as well, but maybe not to the same extent. He definitely pushes those boundaries because that's just his nature. And I think that's why people love him so much, is they like to kind of see him push those buttons. And I appreciate that, you know what I mean? So we all have the same backup plans. YouTube doesn't seem to be moving in the right direction. Oh man, Zax, I would hate for that to be the case, but it continues to show itself otherwise, you know. Smile, that is probably the smartest thing to do, using Discord as opposed to Twitter. I went on Twitter like 2 seconds before I started the stream tonight, and I saw something that I was like, ugh, ignore it, don't talk about it. It's not, because it makes me so frustrated and angry, and I just have to remember Twitter is not real life. These aren't real people. This is all a joke, nothing really matters. So I can go about my day. So yeah, Discord might be a better place to do that. Yeah, Rachel, that's a great point. You can appreciate someone's craft without approving of their personal ideals and vice versa. But the thing is like with Mark, it's not only that I don't approve of his ideals or whatnot. It's that he openly attacks people for their ideals. And so so now I can't even appreciate his art. I can appreciate it objectively by saying it is technically very sound, but subjectively, I won't even look at it because I'm like, this is made by someone who is hate-filled, someone who is so extremely immature and hypocritical and self-absorbed and narcissistic that even if I look at that art and I notice that it is technically objectively drawn well, I can't look at it and say that's some good art. I can appreciate that. It's weird. The separating creator from creation is definitely an interesting debate. I love having those talks, but it is one that I could go on for hours. Let's see. Who did I miss here? Twitter feels like the Greek pantheon, screaming opinions into a void. Absolutely. Jaden, go ahead and ask me on Instagram, and I can get that information for you, brother. I don't know if I can get that for you while I'm just live streaming. Pandering to a certain crowd, I see for shame when you claim to be open, says Sixth Face. Yeah, I mean, I don't know when you claim to be open. I don't know if you're talking about me, Sixth Face, or if you're just kind of saying, oh, that's people in general. But yeah, no, a lot of what you see on Twitter and just in general is a lot of pandering, unfortunately. So it can be difficult to be objective towards someone who's not objective, says Glinzer. That's a good point, brother. Yeah, I can for sure see that. Absolutely. That's a good way to articulate that. Brandon the anime guy, what's up, dude? He says, vote in person, always. Six Face says, I notice how you are not discussing the topic of what was said. You seem to just be complaining about some perceived slight by Alphabet. Slight by Alphabet. What is the topic that was said, Sixth Face? There isn't any slight. Oh, do you mean like for in terms of Nick Rekieta? that is more so an issue on YouTube's side of things. I said nothing of the LGBTQ community. All right, let's make sure I'm all caught up. The Neighborhood Merc, what's up, dude? He says, T. Franklin insulted my mother on Twitter just because I criticized her character in Spider-Verse. Dude, that's where we're at. That is legitimately where we're at, where comic book creators are insulting family members because we criticize their work. Because we say, you know what, hey, I didn't really enjoy this character that you made, or hey, this character is goofy, or like not even goofy. Sometimes just like, I didn't really resonate with the character. And then sure enough, the creator has to come out of the woodwork on Twitter and be like, well, you're a man baby and you don't understand the creation. You're just a racist and you're just a bigot. And it's like, whoa. Hang on a second. Let's calm down. Let's take a break here. Let's breathe, So yeah, T. Franklin is notorious for doing that kind of stuff, the Neighborhood Merc, and especially with the people that she works with. If you were to hear some of the horror stories about some of the creators that she's worked with and editors, it's just an absolute nightmare. It's not behind the scenes. It's not great, unfortunately. Rachel says, that's fair, Max. When you see people acting so hateful, it is difficult to enjoy their craft, and so you have to look a lot more objectively at it. Yeah, and it's unfortunate. I would love to like take that out of my brain, get like lobotomized or something, take that out of my brain so I could only appreciate art. That would be fantastic. But with Twitter and with YouTube and with Facebook and Instagram, like, you now know the artist, you now know the creator, which is good and bad. But I think ultimately I would love to just not know who did things, like, you know what I mean? But YouTube has actually been good to me and I still enjoy it, so I'm not just piling on, but it's the sword of Damocles thing when they don't provide explanations, says Zax. Yeah, and I'm super thankful that YouTube has been great to you, man. And I hope that doesn't come off as me just, smashing other YouTubers. I specifically want to try and make a point saying that I just haven't felt secure in being on the platform, and that I have been frustrated with some of the decisions that they've made. So yeah, I don't mean to like bash any other creators at all. I'm just more speaking in terms of the platform as a whole and what it's been doing. Jay says, it's the same issue I have with some great actors who I can no longer enjoy their performance because of what they've said on Twitter. Yeah, right? We don't read comics or watch sports for a political ideology, says Paul. Yeah, man, exactly. Twitter's insane, and as a psychologist, I'm allowed to say that. Hail, Rachel. Spider-Man in the Spider-Verse. I agree with you about YouTube's rules being freaking ridiculous. I'd use the same code words that Gary from Nerdrotic and Mr. Anime 343 use, so I can outsmart it. Yeah, man. Otaku, aka the Weeb Pillar. Thanks for being here. It's like I said, it's very nebulous, man. Like, nothing is set in stone and everything is just kind of nuanced, and it's like, am I doing the right thing? Am I going to, like, is what I'm doing actually going to get me more subscribers, or is it going to get my channel taken down? And it's like, it can be a nightmare sometimes. Cajun says, I can enjoy some entertainment, but not when they push their agenda down our throats, and I don't have a Hollywood crush anymore because of their thoughts about me and people like me. Cajun, it's hard to to listen to current day actors, actresses, just entertainers in general, because that's what their job is, right? Is to entertain you. But they've taken on this role of like activist, not entertainer. I always say they're activists, not actors. And those are two completely different things. And one is their actual job that they get paid to do, and one has nothing to do with their craft. And not saying that they can't take the millions and millions and millions of privileged money that they have and put it into something that is worthwhile and put it into a cause that they believe in. By all means, please do that. I would love for you guys to do that, for actors to do that. But at this point in time, it doesn't seem like they're doing that at all. But yeah, do I have a Rumble channel? I think I do. I just haven't posted anything on their Neighborhood Merc. First, comic book creators attack manga. Now the family's like, holy cow. Yeah, right, dude. Codeman says, hey Max, it's hard to separate comic writers, artists from their work, and I've given up reading anything they do because of their crazy views and how hateful to those of us with different opinions. Codeman, I'm so sorry to hear that, brother, but you're right, man. You know, there are a lot of creators that will go on Twitter specifically only to bash on their fan base, or to bash, or as what they like to say, dunk on the chuds. That is the most abysmal statement that I continuously hear on Twitter threads and Instagram and articles, is that these creators are dunking on the chuds. And it makes me furious that creators actually have this entitlement, that they think that what they're doing is ruining a fan base, that they have the audacity to say something like that. And you know, if anyone were to probably listen to me, any creator listen to me and go, well, that's what we want. We want you to be furious. Haha, we got them. That's our plan. Blah, blah, blah. You fell for it, you chud. It's all in the plan. Like, fuck off, man. No. What they do when they separate, when they divide like that, when you make a fan base angry, you're not dunking on the chuds. You're actually separating fans from each other. You're creating a divide, and you're making things more hostile. You are doing the exact thing that you say that you hate that the other side is doing, because you think that the chuds are the ones that are dividing this fandom, when in all actuality, it's your fucking hubris that's doing that. It's really unfortunate. So yeah, Codeman, I'm sorry to hear that, because a lot of times, yeah, the writers and artists, I see I would say more writers than artists, but you get a little bit of both. I would have to look into it more. But yeah, a lot of it is very hateful. I still haven't found the times to start recording some videos. Is that shameless self-promotion, says Jaden. No, man, not at all. I'm not a huge channel or anything. So, I would love to self-promote you. Everyone has the right to call Twitter crazy regardless of profession. I think so. I don't think that's... and honestly, it's not mean to call Twitter crazy. It's not hate speech or whatever. Like, calling Twitter unrealistic, crazy, psychopathic, insane, brain dead, mindless takes... yeah, I think everyone can agree. I don't think anyone would be like, hey, don't say that about Twitter. Like, I don't think anyone would stand up for Twitter, because I think we're all in agreement that, like, yeah, the platform is cancer. Like, the platform is straight awfulness. So I don't think anyone's coming to white knight and shield them from criticism. Entertainers are the most passive activists I've ever seen, next to keyboard warriors on social media. Yeah, Rachel. It is incredible what they think they do for society versus what they actually do for society. Jacob says, Max, up, man? What's up, dude? Good to see you. Clinton Hausch, what's up, dude? In the house. Hey, yo, Harley Dave. He says, good evening all. Sorry I'm late. Had to iron my silkies. Cheers. It's not Max's Man Cave without Harley Dave in the house. Great to see you, brother. Jay says, an observation... Oh, Jaden says, I'm going to go to bed. Good night, folks. Hey, Have a great night, Jaden. Thanks for stopping by, brother, and have a great night. Jay says, an observation about you. I think one of the reasons this gets to you is because they are bullies. You don't like bullies, and you won't be bullied yourself. Well, thank you, Jay. The interesting thing is that people would probably call me a bully. Like there are channels on YouTube that are within the comic book sphere or comic book atmosphere. And they would say that I am probably one of those bullies or one of those, people who is part of the culture war or part of Comicsgate that likes to be bigoted or likes to be racist against a certain group of people, or that I would be that I would take my prejudices and like be hateful towards a certain group of people, and that would be my bullying. And they are allowed to have their opinion. They're allowed to express their opinion. I appreciate you saying that, Jay. I sure as hell would hope that it doesn't come off that way, right? Like, the reason why I get so passionate about this is because it's stuff I love. And the reason I get so passionate about it is because there are stakes for me. I want this stuff to be universally loved. I don't want this stuff to be taken over by a certain ideology. I also just want this stuff to be written well and done well and respected. And I don't think that's a lot to ask. And so I think when I come across as passionate, a lot of people see it as anger, which, I mean, there is a little bit of anger in there for sure. But that's why men are needed in today's society. And this is a whole nother topic, because men who are not toxic are able to take their aggression and their anger and their rage, and they're able to transform it into something that they love, or they're able to transform it into a passion that they have, to use it to help with whatever it is that they are fighting for. Whereas a toxic man or just a toxic individual will let that emotion transform them into something that they don't know anymore, something that is horrendous, something that is hideous. They let that emotion consume them until that's all they know, until that's all they see is the hate and the anger and the rage, and that is Twitter. All they see is the hatred and the just all-consuming fire. And so those emotions get lashed out. And what I think, like I said, good men will do, good men and women, is instead of allowing that emotion to consume them, they're able to harness that emotion into something good, and into something just or justified. So though I seem like I'm very passionate about this stuff, it's because one, I am passionate about this thing that I love. And if I seem angry or if I seem like I'm upset, it's because I'm trying to harness that emotion into something worthwhile and something beneficial and something that I'm passionate about. I'm, to not allow that hatred to consume me, and to allow it to be something that can potentially make things around me like toxic, but let's see. I think I missed a couple of your guys' chats. 300 Meters says, agreed, Twitter's awful, but I can't quit it. That's the crazy part, right? Is like, I can't, it's wild. I can't seem to get off of it. It's a drug. It's so bad. Aw, shucks, I'm just here to stir shit up, says Harley. Well, hopefully your silkies have come out nice and clean and ironed out and pressed. You're far from a bully, says Paul. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. Max bullies me every day. My fragile little ego is in shambles. Well, you heard it here first, folks. A bully today is anyone who says anything you don't like. Oh, smile. That's such a good observation. People don't know what a bully is anymore, and no one taught them how to laugh at themselves instead of taking insults seriously. Yeah, or not even taking insults seriously, or not even laughing at it, but like ignoring it. Ignoring it and just being like, wow, what is Buzz Lightyear saying in Toy Story? You are a sad, pathetic little man, or something like that. Yeah, sometimes you just have to do that to bullies. Let's see, what did I miss here? Rachel says, the major problem is that pop culture has adjusted definitions of many words, including toxic, to simply mean anything we don't like. Exactly. Yeah, same thing with that bully thing. It's like, if you don't agree with this large majority of people who are the loudest, or the small minority of people who are the loudest, then you are insert term here, you know. Well, I usually want already established properties to be left alone or respected regardless if I'm a fan or not. Exactly, man. Like, I don't have a dog in the race of the whole Ariel and the mermaid thing, the Little Mermaid. Like, I literally could not care less. However, for the fans of Ariel that care about her, I want what's best for them. And I want what's best for the source material. And like, what is going to respect the material the most? What is going to respect the fans the most? That's what I care about. Even though I won't see The Little Mermaid, like even if I had a kid right now, I probably most likely wouldn't even go see it. It just doesn't interest me. I don't know. It's not for me. Punkwaddle, what's up, dude? Great to see you in here. Jay says, there's no way you're a bully. That's their BS. Don't buy into it. Your passion isn't aimed at anyone about the situation. Your attitude to Mark Brooks on stream tonight proves it. Well, thank you, Jay. That really does mean a lot from someone who I respect their opinion a lot. And, I care deeply for every one of you guys because y'all are so intelligent and have such great conversations with me on this platform that I really do take into consideration a lot of what you guys say and take it to heart for real. So thank you. Yep, great to see you, Punk. I've also been dealing with false accusations and claims that the far left have been spreading on anime. No way. El Otaku, aka the Weeb Pillar. Huh. Laughing at the bully makes them mad, which is far more entertaining for me. Smile, it definitely does antagonize them, that's for sure. And by no fault of your own. Like, even if it is funny and you just start laughing, it will automatically shut a bully up immediately. Monopoly says, I can't get angry anymore. Kenobi was the final straw for me. Hey, understandable, dude. Holy shit. My rage for what Disney did to Star Wars was released there, and now I just don't care anymore. Rings of Power, I couldn't muster anything for it. Yeah, that was a nail in the coffin that kind of solidified a lot of why I wasn't making any more Rings of Power videos, was just how really, truly awful it was. And not because it was like, oh, it's woke trash. Like, it is so interesting how some people are still, of the same mindset that like, well, it's, it just like woke, and they don't actually understand what the word means. Like, if you look at Rings of Power, yes, there were plenty of ideological, political things in there, like, the intersectional feminist agenda of like Galadriel, or the identity politics of Arondir and how all the orcs are white and he's chained as a black man. Like, there's plenty of that shit in there that you could call out. But overall, it was just disrespectful writing. It was disrespectful writing to the fans, to the professor, to scholars, to anyone who has a brain. It was just disrespectful. And so, like, for me, I just like, I couldn't do it anymore. And then with She-Hulk on top of it, and I'm seeing, I'm seeing Daredevil, and I'm seeing all this stuff, and I'm seeing Rings of Power, I'm just like, dude, I am so done. I want to just like, and this was during midterms, mind you. So like I had to kind of step away from that stuff for a while to focus solely on school, because I let that stuff consume me a lot of the times. Like I'll want to make a video about it, or I'll want to talk about it. And then I realize just how futile my efforts are, because I'm like, nothing's going to change. Nothing's going to make it any different. Like we're just stuck in this perpetual motion of just these shitty properties coming out and disrespecting us constantly. And if I think too much about it, it'll just ruin my day. So why even think about it at all? And that sucks, because like a lot of what I talk about on this channel is stuff like that. So I just didn't even want to get into it, because I was like, it's just going to put me in a bad mood, or it's going to send me down a darker path or a darker road. Because I love this stuff, and I don't want it to be like ruined, and I want it to be good, you know? Let's see, what did I miss here? But yes, Monopoly, great observation, man. And I can understand you not getting angry anymore. I think a lot of people feel that way as well. I care about people caring about the value of a character. There it is, yeah. Outside of their own personal gain. Care about people caring about the value of a character. Why do we love stories so much? Why do we love movies so much? Why do we love books so much? It's because no matter who it is that we're reading, no matter what story, whether it's in fantasy or sci-fi or history or whatever, romantic comedy, we resonate with characters. And if you do characters well, and if you put value into your characters, that is what gains an audience. That is what gains respect and admiration and love for people, or for a property, or for a story. What's up, Miss Martin Muses? Hello. Thank you for the wave and the rose. Regarding The Little Mermaid, says Paul, they can't write new stories anymore that are worth anything. They have to repurpose, stories to push their agenda. So much repurposing. It's either a reboot or a rehash or a recast or a revamp or a reimagining. Like everything is just a fucking and it's infuriating that no one has the creativity to not do anything reimagined, recreated for a new audience. Smile says, I mean, even the Disney original Little Mermaid was a take from a much darker fairy tale, and this is coming from someone who has seen maybe 2 Disney princess films. I watched Sports Wars this morning, and John Matrix said his wife wanted to watch Rings of Power, but after 5 minutes she turned it off. Rings of Power was crappy writing. Yeah, I agree with you guys. I hope they don't mess Justified up when they bring it back. Oh, they're bringing Justified back? Interesting. Rings of Power was just so badly written. For someone who writes for a living, it was like nails on a chalkboard. Oh, Jay, that must have been murderous for you. Oh my God, I'm sorry you had to sit through that. The dialogue was probably the worst part about it. The pseudo-moralistic values of just like, we are so high and mighty. A rock looks down at the ocean, but a ship looks up into the sky. Fuck off, dude. Like, that dialogue was so bullshit. And everyone knows it, but no one wants to admit it because they're afraid. Literally afraid. People are afraid. They are fearful of being called a bigot, or being called a racist, or a homophobe, or a sexist. It's all too familiar. It is the same fucking cycle over and 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 over again. Harley says, at the beginning of the second episode of Rings of Power, I paused it after I realized I had zero clue who any of these people were, where they were, or what the fuck the purpose of the story was. It was just so nonsensical. By the way, if you guys hear that little noise, that's Gideon's feeder. So Gideon's getting his food right now. This is dinner time for Gideon. No, yeah, dude, 100%. You had zero clue who any of these people were, where they were, what the fuck their purpose was. It was nonsensical. It was like, there was no through line. And even the characters that you did know, like, you know, you could see, okay, these are the Harfoots. Like, who the fuck cares about the Harfoots? Like, that was the most boring, nonsensical, uninspiring part of the whole thing. And they kept putting the Harfoots at the forefront of these stories. Like, I think in the last episode, they had Harfoots and no dwarves. Well, what the fuck are we doing here? The most intriguing part about the entire show was the dwarves. And you don't have it in your last episode, but you have the Harfoots in your last episode? The fuck are we doing? Yeah. So I understand, Harley. At the beginning of the second episode, at the beginning of the first, I was just like, ugh, God, I was out. But I kept watching it because I really wanted to understand what was happening, and I didn't want to discuss it without knowing what was actually going on. I wanted to be well versed, and I wanted to actually be well spoken when talking about these topics, rather than just being like, yeah, Rings of Power sucks, which, you know, a lot of channels will do, and that's fine. But I wanted to actually back it up with, here's why. I've watched the show, I've watched the series, I've watched the episode, here's why. And so because of that, I was doing those YouTube videos where I would break down each episode and whatnot. And after a while, it like you said, Harley, it became too nonsensical, and I couldn't muster the energy or the passion or thought process, or just conceptually, I couldn't take it anymore. Sounds like MVP needs a passion project series to focus on something just fun and outside pop culture. Clinton, you know what, brother? I think that might be the right way to go. That might honestly be kind of where I would love the channel to be at. I still think it's important that we talk about this stuff, and I still think it's important that this stuff be called out, but it gets so tiring. And it can consume you, you know what I mean? To where you see nothing but that. And it's really, it's very disheartening, you know? If you have a passion for it and it's constantly just drama or politics, or it's, you know, arguments, or it's like whatever, culture war stuff, it just continues to be almost like a burden as opposed to something that is life-giving. Things are getting better. Tugs found a good man. Keep your head up. We are here for you and each other. Thanks, Paul. I appreciate that. Yeah, Tugs just had a birthday. Happy birthday to Tugs. Everything is yeah, exactly, Rachel. Maybe Jay says, maybe focus on stuff that you do find good. There's 100 channels where I can hear how bad stuff is. I'd love to know what current comics are good, what you would recommend. Yeah, Jay, absolutely. And I think that's what Clinton was saying as well. And I think that may be where I kind of go from here. I'm not sure. The thing is that those channels don't do well. You know what I mean? It's unfortunate, but the channels that tend to show off good stuff, or the channels that kind of discuss, well, unless you're a shill. Like if you're a shill and I were to come on here and be like, oh my God, Captain America or Falcon Winter Soldier, oh my God, or like, yes, oh, Loki was the best show ever, or what was the most recent one that came out? Like Eternals or Thor Love and Thunder, like She-Hulk, like, oh my God, She-Hulk was the best thing in the world. Did you guys see Daredevil? Oh my God. Like there are channels like that, and they have millions of subscribers, and that's all they do. They just react to stuff. It's like that one guy, Soups. I don't know if you guys have watched his channel before. He has like 200, 300,000 subscribers. And all he does is just like, holy fuck, bro, that was awesome. Oh my God, She-Hulk. Oh, whoa. And I can't stand those people. I would so much rather have 2 subscribers than go that route. and have 200,000 subscribers. But sorry, that was a tangent. I apologize. But yes, I think doing something that I love would be great. It wouldn't necessarily give me a career on here, I don't think. But we'll see. We'll see. I don't know if that would be something that, because I'm passionate about both. I'm passionate about the stuff that I love, but I'm also passionate about talking about the things that I think are necessary to talk about, like if a character is being changed, or if they're ruining a franchise, or if the writing is poor on a certain thing. Like, I also want to discuss that because I think that it's important. So it's not like, oh, I'm just doing this for a career. Like, no, I actually do love this stuff. If you couldn't tell by the multiple thousands of, comics and statues behind me, but yeah, well, I love that idea though, Jay and Clinton. I think that's a good idea. All Rings of Power is Game of Thrones copycat and wolf in sheep's clothing. No, the Rings of Power is actually a copycat of the Lord of the Rings too, not just Game of Thrones, because there's so much fucking repurposed dialogue in that stupid fucking show. It is abysmal how much repurposing. There we go again. Another reimagining, reboot, repurposing. There's so much repurposed bullshit in that show that Rings of Power is just copying Lord of the Rings, the Peter Jackson. It's pathetic. Smile says, I know that sound well of a cat feeder. Cat Camry's not alive. I don't have my cat cam on, Cajun, unfortunately. Yeah, the Rings of Power really appeals to normies, like, for sure. It's a normie audience thing, absolutely. Intakes content, wanting more, yeah, 100% Monopoly. They clap at that stuff. Those are like the clapping seals that just go, oh yeah, that looks great. We hate the Harfoots but love the dwarves. Show us more of the dwarves. Rings of Power. All right, here's more Harfoots. Yeah, dude. Rachel, exactly. It's like, yeah, and that's the funny thing is, like, we were giving Deeza shit, right? Like at the beginning of the series when she was doing all those interviews, and then we actually saw her in the series and we were like, hey, she's actually kind of fun to be around. Like, her acting is pretty fun and good, and she has like an actual character. Like, she's not just bland person. Like, she actually has some character to her. Like, let's see more of these dwarves. And they're like, bet, we're going to show you the fucking psychopathic, murderous Harfoots. Take their wheels and leave them behind in the fucking dust, you fucking monsters. Like, the Harfoots were the worst, maybe one of the worst parts of the show. It's a tie between them and Galadriel, I'm not sure. Max, can you share your shoulder workout routines? I live off my hatred for the cereal sugar smacks. Yeah, shoulder workout. I take my workouts from Big Daddy Zach's. We just both do a bunch of shrugs in the gym. Rachel says, yes, balance out the negative with some positive. I kind of would like to start a sports channel, but it's hard because of the BS and identity politics. Cajun, yeah, it's kind of infected and infested its way in almost everything now, right? Like, not just entertainment, but like, yeah, we're seeing it in sports too. Get back to the 40K stream. Screw all the incessant brain-sucking ignorance. Dude, you're right. Well, that's the thing. Harley, you said maybe pick up knitting. Dude, wasn't there something with Carrie Smith where even the knitting community had ostracized her? Or maybe not her, but it was someone within the knitting community that she made a Captain America quilt that had Captain America on it, and it said like God bless America or something, and had like all the flags. And the knitting community called her a racist and said that she needed to rip up the quilt and all this shit. Can you, like, that shit is wild to me. That is literal brain rot. Actual fucking brain rot in real time. And so yeah, maybe I shouldn't pick up knitting because that might be cancer as well. But thanks for the recommendation. Cajun says, I'm going to bed. Good night, everyone. Night, brother. Thanks for being here. Have a great weekend. And yeah, dude, I forget if you said you were going to Orlando or not, but if not, no worries. Let's see. The background music makes this feel like an emotional anime. A silky stream, maybe, says Cajun. Yeah, smile. People are attracted to negativity. We like the drama and the big emotions that give us that high, even if it's through arguing about how bad something is. Good and positive gets drowned out by the culture, but it would mean you have a smaller community who really want to be part of the community. Yes, and I do agree with that, Smile, is that the people that you would have within that community of people that, like, I create or... Well, maybe not, because I can't take credit for that. I may create something on this platform, but it's the fans who create the hype behind it. It's the fans who enjoy it and come out to view the video and interact with the video. So it's really you guys. And that's why, I always, at the end of my videos, I constantly thank everyone, because I could create all this stuff and it could never be seen, right? YouTube could suppress it down to the very bottom of the algorithm to never be seen by man ever again. But it's thanks to you guys for continually coming out to these live streams and coming out to these videos and interacting with me on comment sections and stuff. And that's the great part, is that community aspect of it. So though people tend to be attracted to more negativity, I do think it would be nice to go towards a positive route. I just need to see what that looks like for the channel, because, yeah, I don't want to completely ignore it, but I also want to incorporate a little bit of both. And I think I need to just kind of figure out where the balance is. I mean, hell, we've been doing this, for a year now? A year plus? On YouTube, and I say we. I mean you and us, chat. You guys watching and me. We have been doing this thing for about a year now. On this channel specifically. And so I think I'm still kind of figuring out the ropes. Seeing what can be... what can last. What can be transformative, but fun and entertaining, maybe informative. And just overall, like, I want to create stuff that is going to last in terms of, like, I can always create something, like I can always do a video. Whereas, like, with stuff when it comes to the culture war, it can get so tiring and it can weigh on you so heavily and it can be so daunting that, like, it'll be maybe like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, like this last hiatus that I took before I even get back on the platform, because I'm just so worn out, because I'm burnt out, I'm tired. So sustainable is the word I'm looking for. I need to figure out something that's more sustainable to where it's not so up and down, you know what I mean? Punk Waddle says, Rings of Power wanted to be every other show that has been popular during these writers' formative years. There, I said it. No, Punk, you're totally right, dude. 100%. I think there's a balance that can be achieved. Razorfist comments on current events in pop culture and politics, and also does commentaries on properties he loves. For sure, dude. Razorfist is the absolute man. He does some incredible stuff. Game of Thrones was supposed to be a total subversion of Tolkien. Rings of Power is an even deeper subversion. Oh, man. Wow, Harley, yeah. This is huge. Considering society is currently nothing more than a thinly veiled vacuum of self-responsibility and constant need of virtual validation, no wonder those channels get views. It's the echo chamber. Well said. Absolutely well said. And well spoken, too. Yeah, that's really a lot of, it's people kind of feel that sense of community or responsibility, whether it's on like channels that are like totally focused on culture war stuff, or channels that like are focused more on shill stuff, where they're just like, oh yeah, fucking everything is great, clap at the content, clap it, like we can't stop clapping, you know. Both kind of in their own right create a community around them that is like almost self-reliant on them, because they feel that, like you said, Harley, that virtual validation, and it creates that echo chamber. Whereas like I would love to create a fan base, you know what I mean? Like not an echo chamber, but just a fan base and friends like that enjoy this stuff. So Rachel says, the first question is, do you want a career on YouTube? If so, then you ask, am I willing to follow trends and make hate heavy content or shill for success? Yeah, so Rachel, I think that's the thing, is like the reason, I mean, and I've been debating how I wanted to discuss this, but overall, I don't do YouTube just as like a hobby. I do YouTube because I believe that I can make it a career. I wouldn't have started YouTube if I didn't think that I could make this a career. Now, most people automatically, just by me saying that, will say, well, then you're wrong, because YouTube should always be a hobby. However, if you know that you are good at something, or if you know that you have a passion for something, why just make it a hobby? Why not pursue a career in that thing? You know what I mean? And because I know that I have certain skills and I have certain talents and I have certain things that I would love to talk about, when I first started this, it wasn't just, I'll just make this a hobby and it'll be fun. I set out to make this a career. I bought a $500 camera that you guys are looking at me through right now. On top right here, I bought a $300 camera that has all the top-down angles so that we can look at comic books and modeling kits. I bought hundreds of dollars worth of lights in the studio. I bought lights and setup and like background stuff so that I could create a great atmosphere for the platform. I bought a new monitor and software. I continually buy subscriptions to a monthly editing and streaming software so that we can do this kind of stuff on YouTube. I am out. Oh, and then of course my microphone, $200 microphone. I do this stuff not because it's a fun hobby that I would spend thousands of dollars worth. I did this as an investment because I believed that it would be a career. And I still believe that it could be a career. But as we were talking about much earlier on in the stream, YouTube fails to reward its streamers based off of their what it is their content is producing. You know what I mean? So, and that kind of brings me to the second question, is like you said, if so, then you ask, am I willing to follow trends and make blah, blah, blah? And that's the thing, like, should I follow trends in order to make a career out of this? Or can I make a career out of this just by the content that I post, whether it's relevant or not to a certain culture war or to a certain political view or whatnot? So I think after a while, the channel will either just be consuming more money than I have to afford, or it will start to make some of that money back, and instead of just having revenue, it will actually make profit. And I think that's where the channel will decide for itself whether it will become profitable enough to become a career, or whether it will just continue to make revenue that will just go directly back into the channel to then produce more content, just kind of validating itself and its own existence. I hope that kind of answers your question. I don't know if that answers the question or not, but that's what I've got. It's regretful how repetitive Hollywood has become, says Glinzer. Yeah, dude, for sure. Hey, we have a $10 super chat from Mike Likes Tacos. What's up, dude? Great to see you again. He says, speaking of being attracted to negativity, I always thought the teenage daughter and Uncle Buck was fine. Something about that RBF. Oh man, I need to watch that movie again. It's been a while since I saw. What is it? Is that John Candy who plays Uncle Buck? I forget. But thank you for the $10 super chat, man. I greatly appreciate that. This one is for you.
Strength and honor.
Strength and honor.
What we doing live? Echoes in eternity.
Sweet. Harley says Max should sell foot picks. If I'm desperate. Maybe if I'm desperate. Anyway, back to the show. No, I'm kidding. You can't make the shot unless you take the shot. Right. Yeah, Glinzer, that's a great quote, man. For sure. Soul Assassin and Achilles, what's going on, guys? Do what makes you happy. Too many culture war news channels, in my opinion. Well, thank you, Soul. I appreciate that, man. Achilles says, hello, Max. What's up, dude? I remember watching Uncle Buck and Batman 89. Hell yeah, punk. Let's see who I missed here. When knitters attack, says Harley. Yeah. The knitting community is vicious. Smile, is this true? Oh my God. I might need to have you on the channel one of these days and have you talk about the knitting community. Jay says the critical drinker is massive. His channel works because he keeps a careful balance of stuff he tears to shreds with stuff he praises with how he would fix stuff. That's a great point, Jay. However, I will say this. Critical Drinker is very talented. A very, very talented individual. If I could do a quarter of what he could do, or what Mahler, these dudes are incredibly large or deep-minded thinkers, and I, no pun intended, Jay, the deep-minded, which I also consider myself a deep thinker, but I'm not a storyteller per se. I love stories. I love to read about storytelling, but I have never really created stories myself. So to analyze that would be a totally different thing for me. So those guys are extremely talented, and I'm not really sure how I would match up, but I would love to do something like that. I think that those two are extremely talented guys. Vinzinger says, yeah, what is it with actors and actresses with certain acting skills, like Deez's actress doing something that would damage the show or film they've involved in virtues? Oh, yeah. You know, I think a lot of that could be PR as well. You know, like a PR stunt that they're like, hey, go with this angle. Like, do the whole race thing. Like, that's what we want for the show. I don't know. The global knitting community is so far left. It's unreal. Oh my God. Smile. There's a whole conspiracy behind this that I had no idea about. This is so wild. I can't believe that. I can pull up stuff easily on the knitting community. It's almost impossible to find patterns from people who don't flaunt their deep left values. Holy shit. And I thought knitting was just like puppies and kittens and shit. Huh. Every community is going to have those extremist people because every community is made up of people, says Rachel. Yeah. From the psychologist herself. Yeah. You would know, for sure. Just working with people in general, we're going to get this stuff. Nosferatu, I'm an extremist. I surf gnarly swells and snowboard like the kids in Rocket Power. Hell yeah. Max taking a break was far more heartbreaking than the end of Kingdom Hearts. Oh, I'm so sorry. Speaking of broken heart, what do you guys think of my little broken heart symbol here? Yeah, no, it's heartbreaking, man. I don't like taking that much time off, but at the same time, I had to kind of like reevaluate, reassess. There we go with the words again. But yeah, just kind of, like I said, reevaluate, reassess, look at what I'm doing and see what's going to work currently in the future, what's sustainable, all that stuff. And, you know, while in the midst of midterms, it's, you know, I'm studying and focusing so much on school that every time I would think about the YouTube channel, I'd be like, no, I can't really think about this right now. I have to focus more on school. You know, and rightfully so. Unless this was a career for me, unless I was doing this full time, I would have to think about this. But because it's, you know, the money that I make from here, honestly, isn't really even part-time. I had to, unfortunately, make that decision to say, okay, I have to focus on school right now because that is just my main source of income. So, Paul says, without the fellowship I have fallen into here, I literally would not be here. It started with QBG. You all have given me hope and shown me that I wasn't alone. Hail, Paul. Hail to you, man. Seriously, thank you. Thank you for saying that. Yeah, the fellowship is a great group of people, of individuals. We are all here for each other. And I'm so glad that you are part of it, you know. MVP and QBG. QBG is the dopest. He is so much fun. He and I got to hang a lot in Vegas, and it was really, really a good time. So I need to get QBG on the channel one of these days. Yeah, we don't all think alike, but we get along because we respect each other and understand we all don't think alike. Well, yeah, because we're not an echo chamber, exactly. We all are individuals, and we all have our own ideals and our own ideas. So it's great. Let's see. Yeah, Rachel says reassess and reevaluate and redesign. We need to come up with all the different names, terms and words. And we need to just come up with an entire list. And that'll be like the title of one of my videos, of just every single word possible. Why not do a top 10 horror movie stream, MVP? 'Tis the season. Yeah, brother, you know, that is a great, that is a great observation. You know, tonight I was going to do a tier list, a horror movie tier list, but I was looking at some of the tier lists and I was like, damn, I haven't seen a lot of these films, unfortunately. So a top 10 probably would be more in line with what I'd like to do, because there's one that is an indie film that is probably my favorite horror film of all time. And I will say that to the day I die. I hope so, because it is so good. But yeah, that might have to be next week, because next weekend, next Sunday is the 30th, right? So on the 30th, if you guys aren't out trick-or-treating, we'll do maybe a top 10 horror films. The only reason why I didn't do it tonight is it didn't feel right. I was kind of in my own, as Drake would say, in his feels, in your feels. I was in my feels, and I was like, man, I don't want to do this stream thing. And but kind of loosened up as I got back on here, because 3 weeks will take some time to get back into it. But that is a good idea. Thank you for that. MVP re-merch. Oh God. Resist, restream. Speaking of super chats, we've got It's Chewy for $5. He says, "Sup, Max? I want to give a special shout out to all the folks who work at Bottled Blonde down here in Houston, Texas. Hot chicks and cool vatos." Well, hail to you, Chewy. Thanks for the $5, my man. And hail to everyone who works at the Bottled Blonde down there in Houston. Hot, beautiful chicks and cool vatos. And hail to all of them. And to them, I say... What should I say? I say this.
I bid you stand, men of the West!
The true, the one and only, the Lord of the Rings. Hail to you, Chewy, and thanks for the $5, brother. Rachel says, man, not enough characters to continue that make a career out of YouTube chat. A lot of factors at play. Personality, community base, working the YouTube algorithm, marketing your channel. Yeah, there is a lot, for sure. It's... The factors that come into play are so outside of my realm. Like there's only so much you can do as a creator, and sometimes shit just kind of falls in your lap, and like one video just takes off and you get like, 30,000 subscribers or something, and it's like, fuck. How did that happen? Sometimes that or shorts, like YouTube has been promoting shorts, and there are channels on YouTube that will have 10 videos, 10 total videos of just shorts, and they've got 30,000 subscribers, 20 to 30,000, 50,000. I saw one channel that had nothing but animated shorts, and he had 30 videos. He had 200 or 300,000 subscribers because he had 30 shorts or 30 videos, and all they were shorts. And so because YouTube is playing to that algorithm of TikTok influencers, quote unquote, and this TikTok generation, you could do shorts and have it be like nothing regarding your channel or your community or your anything. And you could get tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of subscribers. And that's not on you. That's just because of YouTube's algorithm. Oh, it looks like Paul's got to head out. He says, head off to bed. Let me reiterate that I really love all of you. Hail to you, Paul. Thank you for for that. And have a great night, man. I really love all of you too. So yeah, no, so it's YouTube is wild. It is in the same channel that could be doing very well with its views and its creative content and all this stuff. It could only have a few hundred subscribers, and then a video that puts no effort, no thought, and just posts shorts could have hundreds of thousands. So for a lot of YouTubers and for a lot of channels, for a lot of creators, they're saying, why the fuck am I doing this? Why in the hell would I stay on a platform that rewards its creators for literally doing nothing? And because YouTube is just trying to kowtow to a TikTok audience, other creators are going to be hurt by that. Not emotionally, but their income is going to be hurt. Their creative content is going to be hurt. And it's going to take away from the actual passion from a lot of creators. And they're going to get tired and they're going to leave. Or they're going to start posting shorts. So yeah, it's frustrating, but a lot of that YouTube algorithm and marketing and all that shit only goes so far, because you can only do so much before it's just kind of up to whatever YouTube deems as popular at that moment. I don't understand it. I will never understand it. And so I can only hope to create the best amount of content that I can, have the most fun as I can, and still be the best at, as Wolverine would say, the best there is at what I do. Except for Wolverine, what he does isn't very nice. So. All right, let's see if I missed anything. Oh God, the knitting community adores Bernie Sanders and almost fell apart when RBG died. It's so crazy. Wow. Vinzinger says, yeah, what is it with YouTube trying to be like TikTok? Or Soul Assassin saying YouTube is trying to be like Instagram. They're trying to be kind of a conglomerate of all those. Harley says, I can't stand YouTube Shorts. It destroys my feed. I will literally unsubscribe from any channel that plasters that shit. Oh, Monopoly, make shorts about my shorts. Maybe, that might be an option. I might get taken down, though. Too much leg. So the YouTube is trying to be a conglomeration. What's the right word? Anyway, they're trying to be all of them. They're trying to be Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, Facebook, and YouTube all in the same breath. They're like, they're trying to outdo everyone else, and Twitch. That's what I meant, not YouTube. They're trying to be Twitch as well. So, which is kind of like, if you look at what Twitch is doing right now, Twitch is in a bad spot. Like, Twitch just told their creators outright that they're not doing 70-30 split anymore, that they're going 50-50 on all of their income, and that they have to forcefully add monetization, or like they forcefully have to show ads during their stream to non-subs. So it's like, holy shit, man. Like, if you were a Twitch creator, that's not good for you, unfortunately. So a lot of Twitch creators are going to start coming to YouTube to stream their video games and stuff. Also, Twitch's live platform is probably a little bit better, YouTube's live platform is probably a little bit better, whereas Twitch's chat platform is probably a little bit better. So there are pros and cons of both, but YouTube is trying to outdo Twitch. They're also trying to outdo TikTok by doing the shorts, but by doing so, they have forced the algorithm to only accept a certain type of content, which means that like people who start a channel now that just do shorts are going to make 50, 60, 70, 100,000 subscribers and not know what to do with that amount of like subscriber base. And what they also don't realize is that those shorts aren't making any money. Like, the amount of ad revenue that you make on a short is literal pennies. Whereas like if I make a good video on here, I can at least make a few dollars. Like at least I can have a few bills that come into from like ad monetization. So it's a weird time for YouTube. They're trying to kind of do everything to be the monopoly of streaming, which is understandable. Like in business, I mean, it makes sense. They are trying to take something that someone else is doing and do it better. Because when you have competitors, you can either take something that someone else is doing and do it better, or you can do something different than what someone else is doing. So I think that's kind of what YouTube is trying to do with their streaming and with their shorts, is they're either trying to take something that TikTok is doing and do it differently or do it better. I don't know. I'm not YouTube, so I can't say for sure. Glinzer says, only matter of time before YouTube does forced commercials too. God, don't tell me that, man. Ugh, that is so frustrating. Harley says, fuckers out here posting dozens of shorts when they could have just made a fucking video and gotten monetization on it. Ignorant people being stupid. Harley, I really do not care for shorts, but they get subscribers, dude. I mean, they get views, and here's the thing, like, I think for me, because you guys know, I've posted shorts on my channel before as well, and they were relevant to the content that I'm creating. So I posted shorts about the X-Men or Silver Surfer or the animated series or whatever, and I think because of that, people subscribe to my channel. I was getting 10 subscribers a day, where normally it takes me a week or two sometimes. You know what I mean? Like 10, 20, 30 subscribers. And I know that's not a lot in the grand scheme of things, but I was getting a lot of subscribers from these shorts. And I was like, holy shit, are you kidding me? This shit actually works. And not to say that I don't want to like play the game, but I told myself that if I were to do shorts, it's only going to be pertinent to my channel. It's either going to be comic book news or comic book shows or pop culture entertainment shit like X-Men animated series, Spider-Man animated series, Batman animated series, like stuff that is fun that people can enjoy. And then come see my channel and see that there's a lot more stuff that I can offer. Whereas like a lot of these other channels post shorts that are just nonsensical or that are just like have nothing to do with the content or their channel, like whatsoever. Yeah, shorts could be relevant for quick teasers of content on the way. That could be true, Harley. I think that could be another way of like maybe showcasing a portion of your video that you want other people to see, and then you can say like, oh, watch the whole video here or something. If you liked this short, go watch the full video here of like 10 minutes or whatever. So Mono says, I literally thought to myself, oh, now he says it right. Yeah. So, yeah, no, like, don't get me wrong. I have posted shorts before. So I'm not, trying to be hypocritical and saying like, oh, fucking everyone who posts shorts is blah, blah, blah. Like, no, I've absolutely posted shorts. And, the first ones that I did, I had no idea what shorts were. I thought that they were just like little stories, like Instagram stories. But turns out they're like full on actual fucking videos. So, yeah, I don't know. Shorts are a nightmare, dude. I really hope that doesn't become the future of YouTube, but it really does seem like most people are going that way of including shorts into their channels, and like that's it, But it does tend to deter a lot of channels away from YouTube that actually create content, because they're saying, why am I spending so much time on this video when I could literally make a short about nothing and gain like twice the amount of subscribers, Punk says, I don't even wear shorts. You don't, Punk Waddle. You do have a nice badge there, though. I like that. Yeah, Mike like Saka says, eat my shorts. From Bart Simpson. Exactly. So I was going to say something else about shorts, and I'm blanking on what it is. I think it was basically just reiterating my point. That I will most likely post shorts here. If I do post shorts here, I would hope that you guys respect me enough to call me out on my shit if you guys are like, why the fuck are you posting this short? Or like, this makes no sense. Or cool it with the shorts. Or like, you know what I mean? Because, I don't want to be a channel that does nothing but create shorts. I actually want to produce like content that matters or that means something or that has some more transformative qualities to it. And so if I do post shorts, I hope that they are solely and specifically related to my type of creative content, and that it's not me like, oh, I'm at the zoo, look, it's a zoo, it's a tiger from a zoo or something. Like, that has nothing to do with my channel, nothing to do with comic books or pop culture or entertainment. It's a tiger at a zoo, like, whoa, cool. And I title it like, Tiger Freaks Out at Zoo. And then it makes like 1 million views. And everyone's like, oh, that's fucking so cool. Subscribe to this guy. And YouTube promotes it. Like, no, I don't want to do that, nor do I think is it good for anyone's channel. So yeah, I would hope that you guys call me out if that ever happens, and and see like what I'm posting. It also diminishes cross-platform engagement if you get the same crap as Instagram Reels. Badges are cool though, Pong, for sure. Post shorts of videos of little people. Post shorts of videos of little people. Like smaller YouTubers? YouTube channels? YouTube shorts are food for communism. Yeah, Mike likes tacos. My tiger is under attack. Exactly. And yeah, that would be the title, and then it would get like, millions of views, right? If you're fighting the tiger, then make a short of it. You know what? I will do that, Soul. If I fight a tiger, I will absolutely make a short or a video of that. That you can be assured of. Will these shorts follow Harley Dave's idea? I don't know, Vinzinger. It's tough to say because, silky shorts. I could, who was it that said I could call shorts silkies? I could call them silkies. I don't think anyone would get the joke, though. I think only Max's Man Cave dwellers would get the joke of like, hey, check out my silkies. But yeah, no, I think the shorts will most likely just be like maybe clips of a cool animated TV show or a comic book character, or, like the shorts should be something that is not that, like, I don't want to put a lot of time into shorts is what I'm trying to say. Nor do I think anyone should put any time into shorts. I think that it's like, because you have what, 15 seconds, 30 seconds, or like a minute to get across what you're trying to say. And what that does to us as a community, or not as a community, as humanity, is our attention span then is only made to enjoy things for 15 seconds, 30 seconds, or a minute. And anything farther than that will click off of. So if I start to, it's kind of like Pavlov's dog, you know what I mean? Like if I start ringing that bell and the dog starts to salivate every time it's about to get food, which translating, if I start creating shorts and people start to only enjoy my content for 30 seconds to a minute, then the next time I make a 10-minute video, no one's going to watch that motherfucker. Like no one is going to enjoy that shit if all they've been used to or all they're enjoying are shorts. And so it hurts viewers as well as creators because the shorts aren't doing anything but lowering their attention span. So when you say, will these shorts follow Harley's idea? I want to probably put as little time into them as possible so that people don't rely on my shorts as like my channel. You know what I mean? They would be fun to have on the channel. And if that's what YouTube requires me to do in order to have a career here, I may have to play the fuck games for a little while until I can establish a nice, like a good fan base, which let's be real. I have a pretty fucking awesome fan base right here tonight on Max's Man Cave, eh? So thank you again, guys, for being out here and hanging out tonight, because it's been so much fun just getting to talk to you guys. After a few weeks off, it's nice to come back here and just hang out and have a conversation. Mono says, every time I go to the zoo, the tiger is nothing but a lazy bastard and does nothing. Oh, no, little people, like comics division. That's funny. I would have to find some. Hire some on Fiverr. Actual short videos. Harley Dave coming up with the money-making ideas. Absolutely, man. The Pavlovian ad, says Punk. Thinking and drinking, it's my thing, says Harley. The ladies rely on your shorts, though, Max. They rely on my silkies, which could technically be my shorts, yeah. I thought I saw something, and I might have missed it, so... Oh, here it was. I think Jay, the Deep-Minded, she had said this a while ago, and I forgot to mention it, but she did something saying, leverage your contacts. You know some people who have made it a career, and they seem to respect you. Ask for some advice, especially from those who are producers. Jay, thank you for writing that and for reminding me. I think there's a really fine line between leveraging my contacts asking them for favors, asking them to support me and to help me, and then also, like on the flip side of that, almost using them as a crutch or like manipulating them into growing my channel. And so I think that there's like a fine line between that, and I want to make sure that I never cross that. You know what I mean? I always want to be friends with them first, because that's what we are, and that's how I've known them as. Like when I met them at the meetups and stuff, and we developed a friendship, it was always that first. Like when I helped Gary move out of his old house in California, or when I was playing what was it, X-Men versus, or Marvel versus Capcom with Comics Division, or Time Crisis with Quarter Black, like on the arcades and stuff. Like we've become friends first, more like first and foremost, and then streamers second. And so I want to make sure that I never cross that line of, hey, do me a solid, which like I could definitely ask them for. I just want to make sure that I do that tactfully and that I do that respectfully. But yeah, there might be, I might want to try and do something with Melanie Mack actually, because Melanie is a huge fan of the Danger Girl comics. And I don't know if you guys have ever read Danger Girl, but it was a short series that was written and drawn by J. Scott Campbell. At least I think it was written by him. And it's a really fun series. It's kind of during that era of like Top Cow and Image Comics. And so Danger Girl was kind of in that realm of like Michael Turner, J. Scott Campbell, David Finch, all these like really fantastic artists that did incredible jobs with their female characters. Excuse me. So Melanie Mack is a huge fan of Danger Girl, and she loves Tomb Raider, loves that kind of comic book era. And Tomb Raider has shown up in a couple of comics, either in Danger Girl or in Witchblade or in Fathom. So I may have to look into some of that and see if Melanie Mack would want to do something like a collaboration. But then again, I've never met her. She has no idea who I am. I think we crossed paths and saw each other at one of the meetups. That's about it. But I know that she's, friends with all the other guys. So, you never know. We'll see. But that might be something that I could look into and see if that would be fun. I mean, I was even talking to Gary a while ago, thinking that we could do a comic book review stream. And it was right when Rings of Power started, and I was like, oh, fuck, okay, I'm never going to get him now. So, because now he has like no time just because of Rings of Power and how massive that has been for him and his channel, which I'm so stoked for. But yeah, once Rings of Power started, I was like, oh, he's going to be a busy man. So hopefully once Rings of Power, House of the Dragon, and She-Hulk are just done and over with, maybe we can get Gary on the channel. Did the tiger break your heart, Max? Is that the reason for the shirt? No, my heart is broken just from the constant, incessant, belligerent assholes on Twitter, in the culture war, in all kinds of different spaces that I've just gotten sick of. And women tend to break my heart a lot too. But Dr. Rachel, I believe Max is just trying to tell us that he's a heartbreaker, but only because Superman cheated on him. That's Superboy, Harley. Superman is still straight for now, for the time being. But John Kent, Superboy, he is now bisexual. So even though, like, in reality, we all know that they made him gay. So, oh, Mondays with Max and Melanie would be fire, says Harley. Monopoly Rings of Power broke his heart. Dude, it really did. It, like, for real did break my heart, actually. So that is an accurate statement. Yeah, no, Mondays with Max and Melanie, that would be pretty fun. Like I said, she's a huge streamer on this platform and on Twitch and stuff. So, I mean, she's almost at 100K right now. I don't expect her to respond or to come onto the channel. However, I do know that she is a fan of some of those comic books. So, you know, you never know. You always want to try and reach out and just say, hi, introduce yourself. I've tried to do the same thing with Anna, that Star Wars girl. I tried to reach out to her at one point. Tried to reach out to, who was it? I think there was a Twitch streamer who was really into collecting Pokemon. And so I was going to have her and her streaming friend, the both of them, him and her, are both huge into like Magic cards and Pokemon cards. And I was going to have them on the channel to ask about their collecting of cards and how that relates to collecting comic books. And I thought that would be like a cool crossover event. They never got back to me. So yeah, I mean, I've reached out to people before and haven't gotten anything back, but that's like part of YouTube. That is part of being on the channel. Like, if you don't have a certain amount of subscribers, if you don't have a certain fan base, if you don't have a certain political ideology, some people just might not stream with you. And that's fine. You know, you kind of have to leverage your time, especially if this is like more of a career for you. Like, people have to start, you know, they have to figure out, okay, what is it that I can do? What am I allowed? Like, what does my time allow me to do? All that kind of stuff. So don't be with someone who makes you happy. Be someone who makes you happy, and you'll never be heartbroken again. Whew. Damn, Harley Dave spitting some fire, brother. Wow. Nice. I like that. Thank you. You'd better call it Melanie Max. Yeah. That would be pretty dope. Melanie Max makes appearances on Friday Night Tights at the Strip. We don't talk about this publicly, though. Damn it, Harley. That's pretty funny. Yeah, Harley, I like what you said. Don't be with someone who makes you happy. Be someone who makes you happy. Yeah, that's a tough thing for especially me, but a lot of people in general. Like, being happy with yourself is a very difficult thing to do for a lot of people. When you hear women say that, they're like, I'm just working on me, or like, I'm just doing me. A lot of the times it's like, I'm just going to sleep with a lot of guys just because I want to, you know. If a guy says like, hey, I need to work on myself because I am like fucked up, or like, hey, I actually need to focus on who I am and my career, normally it's because they actually need to do that for themselves because they realize that they're fucked up and they need to focus. So that's going to get me into some hot water. I, you know, probably shouldn't have said that because now I'm going to be called a misogynist and all that stuff. But just from my experience, that's what I've seen a lot of times. But yes, no, working on yourself, not like I'm just working on myself. No, if you're actually working on yourself, which is what I'm trying to do, you kind of have to start to look at your perspective changes. You know what I mean? You have to start looking at your objectives, your passions, your career choices, like your finances, your, like, you know, for me, my faith and my religion and stuff, like very heavy topics of discussion that as a man, for me, I want to delve more into and understand better so that, you know, I can get to know myself better and enjoy being with myself and not relying on someone else to, like you said, Harley, make me happy. You know what I mean? So, but that's tough for a lot of people. That's super tough. And even I'm still learning how to do that correctly and in the right way, you know? I'm too black-pilled to be happy with anything, says Mono Polly. Dude, hey, I feel you, brother. That's what's so tough is like, I tend to be like very cynical and glass half empty and like pessimistic. And so like, I don't know. So when I watch stuff on Twitter or when I see stuff on YouTube, it just bums me out, man, because I'm just so like in my feels and I feel so passionately about all that stuff. And so I just like, it weighs on me, man. self-reflection is a superpower. It really is, dude. It takes a lot of restraint, takes a lot of respect for yourself, a lot of discipline. It's tough, man. I'm exploring the universe through crystals. Hell yeah, dude. Hey, if you are, good for you, brother. If that's being sarcastic, that's hilarious. But I can't tell which one it is. Dr. Rachel says more people of both genders need to legitimately work on themselves. Absolutely. Yeah. Don't worry, don't worry, babe. I too am a whore. Let's figure us out together. I think you can tell the difference between those women, though. I get it, though. Says 300 Mirrors. Yeah, like there are absolutely women who will say, "Hey, I need to take some time for myself," or "I need to take some time to actually develop who I am as a person," and they are genuine. But from a lot of the times that I'll, see someone who says that, it's for different reasons. But yeah, we need hookup culture to end for real, says 300 Mirrors. Well, it has been 2 hours, guys. Man, that 2 hours went by quick. I think it was because I was drinking my energy drink here. Didn't actually realize how quickly it went. But I want to say thank you to everyone who came out tonight and supported and said hi, and had a conversation. I really do enjoy this stuff, and I want to get back into doing it more. But like I said earlier in the stream, I want to be able to create something that is sustainable and that I don't have to take, 2 to 3 weeks off because I'm just burnt out, and I think that's tough. But that's if I want to make this a career, that's just something I got to work on and deal with. So, that's why I said, I think the title of the stream is "Let's Get Back to Work," and that is it. I need to start getting back to work and figuring out how this thing is going to work well. So I really do appreciate you guys supporting and coming out and just talking tonight. Hanging out and really getting into the weeds of a lot of this discussion and a lot of these really interesting topics that I think are important, but that maybe necessarily wouldn't be addressed in a video, but could be much better addressed in a live stream. Harley says, in all seriousness, though, I spent a solid 3 years unfucking myself. Never been happier since. Dude, I'm so glad to hear that, Harley. Yeah, it is not an easy proposition, though, for sure. So many of these issues are about living in SoCal, Maxi, says Jay. Yeah. You know what, Jay? Yeah, they may actually be. That is true. Living in SoCal probably hinders me by a good percentage. Rachel says, end hookup culture, learn who you are and what you need. Then find someone who complements your soul. Amen. Harley, 3 hour stream. Let's fucking go. 3 hour re-stream? No. These are great conversations, Max, and also it's good to focus on your studies as well. Thanks, Punk. I appreciate that, dude. Yeah, as much as I love doing this stuff, I had to take a look at my finances and my career path, and I had to say, okay, unfortunately, I couldn't give as much time as I wanted to into the YouTube thing. Because of how important school was and is. So I kind of had to decide on focusing on one or the other. And I hate doing that. But I also don't want to put like half-ass into YouTube and half-ass into school. I'd rather like whole-ass school, and like no-ass streaming. But if that makes sense. I need to do that, Harley. I just stare into the void and continue screwing myself up. Mono, it's not an easy thing to do, brother. It's definitely difficult, and I wish you the best of luck. And if you need anything, let me know. Or if you need any help or have any questions, like these streams are perfect times to bring it up because, it's tough out there, man. But that's why we're called the Fellowship. Punk Waddle, it's like that song on the Average White Band, I've Got Work to Do. Monopoly, just get to the comfortable viewing yourself as you would through someone else's eyes. Glad to be back in the man cave with Max and chat. Hail! Hail to all of you guys. Glad to be back with y'all. Hey Max, if all else fails, there's always Josh/Tina. Jay, you know what? You're not wrong. Hold on. You're not wrong. That might actually be an option. No, Josh is the absolute best. He's such a cool dude, and I really enjoy hanging out with him. Josh/Tina. I'm Tina. So Jay, that is an option. It's also really understandable. The part-time students who take 10 years eventually graduate, but they also have moved on halfway through, says Punk Waddle. Harley says there's always knitting. They seem... Rachel quotes me and says, I'd rather whole ass school and no ass YouTube. I knew that was going to be a quote. I thought that would be good. All right, guys. Well, that is going to be it for me. Love y'all. Thank you for welcoming me back with open arms. I will try to whole ass YouTube as much as I can. And really figure out what kind of content we're going to create on here. But you guys will always be in the loop of stuff. I will try and, if I do go away for like a period of time, a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks or whatever, I will try and keep you guys up to date and give you the best possible information so that y'all aren't just hanging, right? So that's pretty much all I've got. But yeah, let's see if I missed anything here. All right, well, have a great rest of the week, guys. I'm trying to remember the tagline because it's been so long, but how could I forget? Reject modernity and embrace your legacy, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks again.